And now, coming to you live from the decentralized studios of Satoshi Crypto Research Labs, it's Blockchain After Dark.
And now, with drones flying over our heads, this just in from the newsroom. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blockchain After Dark. It's been widely panned in the media, the entire concept of cryptocurrencies and what's going on with the blockchain. Media has basically said, this thing is dead for the 250th time in the 10 years it's been around. And I just want to bring your attention to some interesting, ideas that have been spinning around in crypto media, specifically on Cointelegraph, about a price prediction. It's an article. This is an article that came out about a year ago. A year and a half ago in June of 2017 by Joseph Young. And back then, before the start of the last crazy bull run, his prediction was that Bitcoin would actually hit $250,000 by 2020 if the so-called 7-year trend continues. Right, at that point, Bitcoin had been trading for about 7 years or so, a little bit more. And the trend was that if you look at past all-time highs, then crashes, and then the following all-time high, and the next crash, the rate of multiplication from the previous crash to the next high is around like 10 times the last all-time high. So it sounds a little bit, very high, but it's actually on the numbers. If you look at the last all-time high that was around 20,000 or just shy of it, you can see that if we were to 10x that, just that alone would be like almost 200 grand. If you actually go by the multiple of what we've seen from previous crashes and new highs, and the rate of growth between them on average, $250,000. That may be very optimistic, but it's not in the realm of the impossible. Why do I say that? Well, yes, part of that prediction may have been partly some undue exuberation by the writer, maybe, possibly, because it was at the start, it was in the middle of a decent, climb and heading towards that hyperbolic bull run. So maybe there was a bit of exuberance there. But if you just look at the math, it does follow the pattern. And also, you have to consider that in the past bull run, when Bitcoin reached those dizzying heights, that was at a time when there was very little backing the technology compared to now, and there was very little regulatory advance, as there has been recently. There were a lot of unknowns that have been since resolved. There are still many more problems and issues facing, like scalability and speed and whatever. But we know that those technologies are always going to be worked on, either with layers or applications or other solutions. Doesn't really matter. Technology will advance, and crypto will advance. Yes, we might be going a little bit backwards now in terms of price, but that doesn't mean that there won't soon be some kind of a bounce or move forward ahead again. It's the cycle of the market. It tends to do that. If you watch any market, you'll see that there's cycles. And we're just in another one right now, that's all. And of course, yes, anything can go to zero, of course. And no, this is not financial advice. No, I'm not telling you to buy anything. And I'm definitely not advising you to invest in crypto or anything like that, especially if you're new to trading or you don't know what you're doing. Always do your own research. Be responsible for your own investing and financial decisions. Don't just listen to random people on YouTube and take their advice, right? I'm doing this for entertainment purposes. I hope other people get something out of it as a byproduct of the fact I'm doing it for fun. That's all. So, if you enjoy this, great. And of course, leave a like and a comment or a share, whatever. But I want to bring back your attention to this price. $250,000 by 2020. Right? That means if you own 0.1 Bitcoin today, which would cost you around like $250. No, yeah, at the price right now it's $3,280 for a Bitcoin, so 0.1 would be $328, right? Roughly on Bitfinex. Probably roughly the same on the other exchanges. So $3,200, $3,300, right? Between that price range. So 0.1 of that would be $330 for something that could hit $250,000 per Bitcoin. That would be $25,000 within a year or two for an investment of around $320 something. From my part, I think this is a very interesting time to be accumulating. I see why people are. I understand it. I also see why people are hesitant. Like, well, if it went to such dizzying heights before and then crashed so hard, who's to say it's not going to do the same thing again? Or who's to say it's not even just going to drop to zero now? Well, the fact is, there's just too much smart money involved for it to ever drop to zero. And there's too many people who are diehard, long-time OG Bitcoin people who would never let it drop to zero, right? I mean, if it ever got down to $100, $500, but let's say $100. Can you imagine just the amount of people who would just be rushing out to just buy every last Bitcoin that they could afford? It would. I think the price run on that would be immense. I don't think that would happen. And if it did, I think it would be a very short-term thing, because if that ever happened, whoever had the chance to grab those Bitcoins would grab them, and the price would shoot back up pretty quickly. I'm pretty convinced of that.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Got crypto? Cover your assets. Go to getablockchainwallet.com. If you're giving crypto for Christmas, Kwanzaa, or any other holidays, especially Festivus, then make sure you visit getablockchainwallet.com and cover your assets today.
And now, back to our regular scheduled programming.
But think about that. $250,000 within the next year or two for an investment of $3,200 today. So if you bought 0.1 of that, you'd be paying $328 for $25,000 in a couple of years, right? Sure, not everybody has $328. I understand that. Think about, imagine if you own 1%, even 1% at like $32.80 or something, that would give you back $2,500, right? You put in $32, you get $2,500. That's pretty amazing, I think. if for every $32 you spent, you would get back $2,500 in the next 2 years. And of course, nobody can predict prices, right? Like, I don't have a crystal ball or whatever. I don't have I don't have a key to the secrets of the prices in the future, right? I don't have a telegraph to 2020. I can't just peer behind the looking glass or something. But I can say that I can look at history, and I can look at trends, and I could see that trends in history tend to be rhythmic, rhyming, whatever you want to call it. And I see a very bright future for people who are holding Bitcoin and people who are going to buy it when it hits its low, whatever that will be or whatever that is. Right now, it's so low. It's not a surprise that all these trading desks and all these financial institutions are setting up their crypto investments and their functionalities to market crypto in the starting in the first quarter of 2019. And I remain a little bit optimistic about 2019. I remain long-term very optimistic about crypto in general. Definitely about blockchain, but certainly about crypto for the long term. Will 2019 see $100,000 Bitcoin, $50,000 Bitcoin? Maybe, maybe not. Will it see 20,000, 10,000? Who knows? I honestly don't really care because I believe this will grow long term. But for people who are more short-minded on that, I would say if you know how to trade, it doesn't really matter if the markets are going up or down. You can always, short sell. You can always bet against it rising if it's falling. You can trade dollars against Bitcoin. You've done quite well this year, right? I would say in general, the market is going to trend upwards over the years to come, and in 2019, I'm a little bit optimistic that it'll start to grow again. We've seen reasons to doubt that, but I think overall the evidence is mounting that something's going to happen because, again, rich people don't like to just sit on their money and watch it go to waste. They want it to make more money for them, right? They make their money work for them. All right, folks. So I just want to remind everyone that we really appreciate all the social likes and shares and comments. So if we could start getting those going, that would be nice. Feel free to leave a comment or share or like or follow or subscribe or whatever you do with this. Engage socially. Let us know what you think. What do you think is going to happen in 2019? Do you think it's going to be another bear market year? Or are we approaching the bottom and we're going to soon head for crypto spring and a slow or quick rise? Let me know what you think. And I hope you'll join us again next time on another edition of Blockchain After Dark. Till then, I hope you share this and tell your friends about it and let them know blockchain is here and it is important. And if they don't know anything about it, please invite them to listen to this show or any other good show and get into the groove of the blockchain because it's going to be good. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be an amazing future with a lot of incredible discoveries for humanity and for the world. So thanks again for listening, and remember, folks, wherever you go, there you are. So until next time, be well.